morning. I'm Megan Gallagher, the Vice President of the Board of Trustees. And I, this morning, was trying to think of something to say to open, and I thought, I wish I could channel Ursula and say I don't care. But that's not true, and there are so many things to care about right now. So I'm very grateful that everybody is here, and I want to welcome everyone to our Sunday services. And the events coming up, we have, after service today, the community team, if you guys raise your hand, will be in the Founders Room. On Monday, the 13th, the fundraising team, Murray Smith, and it's via Zoom. If anybody wants the Zoom link, you can talk to Murray. Taco Tuesday at 7 on Zoom. Gathering Around Grief, 7 o'clock here in the sanctuary. On the 5th, Founders Room? Yeah. Okay, Founders Room. Green Sanctuary is at 7, and Anne, is that on Zoom? Yeah, it'll be on Zoom. Okay, thank you. Upcoming, we have a Spiritual Life Team Planning Retreat, January 18th. Dr. Martin Luther King Celebration is on January 19th. We have a Board of Trustees meeting on this Tuesday at 10:30. Poetry Potluck, January 26th. Congregational meeting, mid-year budget review, and a report from our land use group. And I want to give a plug for the work party, February 1st. We are in desperate need to clean up around our classrooms, and so we are hoping to have as many people here as possible. And I was hoping we might see some of those young college students back from break, but I don't see any of them yet. Oh, Lauren is here. Yay. Thank you, Lauren. February 1st, work party. Thank you very much. And could you please all... What day of the week is that? A Saturday. All right. Yeah. I'll call you.
Can we do it in the evening though? Because 8 a.m. I'm just not later. Why?
Okay. Could you silence your cell phones, please? And if you think you've already done that, could you check again? And now, Reverend Maggie, thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you. Hello to those of you joining us online. I talked to a couple of you today who couldn't make it and said, I'll see you online. So we welcome you as well. Thank you for being here. And can we even say hello without wrapping up from yesterday? Yesterday we had a funeral here for one of our beloved members for decades. He was the beloved one of Shirley Ussery's, and she did just an incredible job. She was beautiful. Did you want to come up and talk a little bit to the congregation? Yeah, you can cry. I got a whole box of tissues here. Tears are good right now. Come on.
This mic's getting too comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, that's good too.
I just, from the bottom of my heart, was so overwhelmed at the sanctuary being full wall to wall, and everybody's love and care and little stories about him. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. And I think everybody knows that it was a sudden, unexpected death. So the shock factor has been the hardest thing, I think, of it. But I couldn't have gotten through with it without all of your support and love. And so just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if there's anything I can do for anybody ever, please let me know. 'Cause I love you all and appreciate you so much. I tried to put a little humor in his eulogy. I think some of you caught on to some of the things that he never told a short story. And so I put that in there on purpose, not to be criticizing. I just thought we needed a break in there from the seriousness of it, and I thought everybody would catch on to that fact, which you did. So thank you for that, because it was kind of an iffy thing whether I should or should not say that, but I think he would have enjoyed it too. So thank you all for your outreach and your love, and for putting up with his long stories all these years. Thank you very much.
And all that love and support was not just a one-day thing. We're here for you in all the ways you'll need us. Yeah. It is our tradition to open our service with a ringing of the bowl. We ring it 3 times, for yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For yesterday, we call to our ancestors as we honor the founding members of this congregation. For today, for all of us who hold, care, and grow this beloved community. And we gratefully acknowledge the native peoples whose ancestral homelands we gather on, as well as the diverse and vibrant native communities who make their homes here today. And for tomorrow, for those who will come to find their spiritual home here with us, may we always be a place of warm welcome and belonging. As a symbol of our faith, we light a chalice at each gathering to represent the values and rich history of Unitarian Universalism that offer us belonging and hold us in community. As our DLRE, that's Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, what a name. You need a big name tag, Robert. Robert Tidwell lights our chalice. Let's hear the word. I just tested it before we came up and it was working, so there you go. Yesterday it didn't work at all. We blamed Steve for that. Do you remember? Shirley? You said it's Steve, yeah. Yeah. But as we light our chalice this morning, we're going to listen to some words that were written by Reverend Robert Walsh. He is the minister emeritus at the First Parish Church in Duxbury, Massachusetts, where he served there as a minister for 22 years. So similar to our own Reverend Ellen, these words come from Robert Walsh, and while they are written in the paradigm of an earthquake, it's a good description of what we are in right now. So come with me. Did you ever think that there might be a fault line passing underneath your living room? A place in which your life has lived in meeting and in separating, wondering and telling, unaware that just beneath you is the unseen seam of great plates that strain through time, and that your life, already spilling over the brim, could be invaded and sent off in a new direction, turned aside by forces you were warned about but not prepared for. Shelves could be spilled out, the level floor set at an angle in some seconds shaking. You would have to take your losses and do whatever must be done next. And when the great plates slip and the earth shivers, and the flaw is seen to lie in what you trusted most. Look not to more solidity and to weighted slabs of concrete poured, or the strength of a cantilevered beam to save this fractured order. But may we trust more the tensile strands of love that bend and stretch to hold you in the web of life that's often torn, but always healing, because there's your strength. The shifting plates, the rested earth, the lack of power, the putrid air, they all proceed from love. And that is the ground on which we walk together. Let's sing our invocation now, and I invite you to stand. We'll sing Spirit of Life, first verse in English, then we'll sing it again in Spanish, and then recite our covenant together. Together, we affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Please be seated. We're giving Robert this Sunday off, kind of, but not really. We have a really nice video that was created to help us to memorize and remember the 6 values that we now hold as Unitarian Universalists with love at the center. Please enjoy our wisdom tale via video.
A handy guide to the values of Unitarian Universalism. Unitarian Universalism has a set of values, ideas we believe are important. I'm going to help you learn them using my hands. Now, the values can be in any order you like. In this handy way of learning them, each one has a number, so you can follow along with your hands and fingers. We're going to start with the value of transformation. Imagine your fist is a seed. Now slowly unfurl your pointer finger like it's a sprout coming from the seed. Transformation means to adapt to a changing world and to grow spiritually. As your seed grows, it will look like the number 1, and that's how you can remember the first value, transformation. Our next value is equity. Hold up 2 fingers and turn them sideways. See how they kind of look like an equal sign? Equity means that everyone should be treated with inherent worth and dignity. This makes people feel like equals. That's how you can remember the value of equity. Value number 3 is pluralism. Hold up 3 fingers. Imagine 3 people with different ideas about God and who may have different cultures or experiences. Being able to hold many views at once and learn from each other is the value of pluralism. Our next value is justice. We're going to take our 4 fingers and curl them into a fist and hold it up high. This is a sign of strength. We need to be strong to dismantle racism and fight for justice. Value number 5 is generosity. Hold out your hand as though you are giving someone a gift. Generosity means to share the things you have that make a difference to others, like faith, presence, and resources. Our next value is love. Hold up 6 fingers. Use your pointer finger of one hand to trace a heart in the center of your other hand. Love is at the center of all of our values. Love is the power that holds us together. Our 7th value is interdependence. This is just a fancy word that means we're all connected to each other. Hold up 7 fingers. Walk your 2 fingers from one hand over to the palm of the other hand. Kneel them down to take a close look. Do you see how your palm is full of connecting lines like a web? We are connected and depend on one another. That's how you can remember interdependence. Those are our UU values. Remember that love is at the center and runs through all of our values. You carry love and values in your open mind, helping hands, and loving heart. What will you do with your values today?
Have that video. We'll have a link to it in our next Community Connections. But Robert, I'd invite you up to grab the chalice from me, and we'll sing everybody out. Well, not everybody, just the kids. Everybody. Learn lots, as they say, in the real estate business. And as they're leaving, I just want to thank you, each one of you, individually and as a community, for your many, many kind and generous gifts of time, talent, and treasure in these unusual days that are holding us together. Thank you. Thank you. It's a treasure that maintains our community's physical and spiritual well-being. Here at the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation, we have chosen together to donate 50% of our offerings that we gather that are not earmarked as pledges with a charity that aligns with our values. Each recipient has been pre-selected by our justice team and then approved by the Board of Trustees. For this month, the month of January, we will share our plate with a place near and dear to my heart on the other side of the world, our Calapayan partnership and the formation of an education fund. Julie Steinbach is here and will speak to us about our partnership with the Calapayan congregation of the UUCP, and we love acronyms, but that's the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Philippines. And here's Julie. Do you need the whole? I can move this down here. Thanks. Yeah, no worries.
Good morning. And here we are again, our annual Calapayan fundraising. It's actually our annual celebration of our congregational partnership with the UU Calapayan congregation on Negros Island in the Philippines. The coconut shell chalice that the children carried out which we light every Sunday, was actually created many years ago by the children of that congregation and gifted to us shortly after we first started the partnership. Monte Vista's partnership with Calapayan dates back to 2007. Initially, and for some years, we were following the old charity model. Privileged and relatively affluent Americans sending goods and funds to poor folks in undeveloped countries. It made us feel good about ourselves. About a decade ago, the UU Partner Church Council launched the effort to change that mindset, invoking the idea of parity, not charity. The emphasis being on partnership as relationship, in living commitment to our sixth principle, goal of world community with peace, justice, and liberty for all. The new motto introduced on this bumper sticker right here, the most radical thing we can do is to introduce people to one another. Those introductions are most profound, of course, when they happen in person, as a few of us have experienced traveling to the Philippines and hiking up to Calapayan's chapel in the jungle. Introductions also happen with the sharing of pictures, stories, personal communications, and sponsorships. But first, to step back a moment, because a good number of you are quite new to Monte Vista membership and community, it's possible that you likely don't have much awareness of our Philippine partnership, as opposed to the longer-term members who have heard and seen at least annual reports and presentations about Calapayan and the history of Unitarian Universalists in the Philippines. Thus, right after the service today, after Lily's postlude, we'll be sharing the 20-minute video recording of last year's report on the July 2023 congregational trip to Calapayan, which shows the places and peoples that constitute the UU Church of the Philippines. You are all welcomed, of course, to stay. There will also be special treats served to you at your seat, some new Filipino treats for you. These Filipinos share our faith but do not share our comforts, particularly the ability to provide educational opportunities that will lead to an enhanced quality of life for their families and community. Thus, as we as their American partners have committed to sharing our abundance as one step on the path to economic equality, or at least equality of opportunity. Maribel? Maribel is helping me with this because I want to point out that when she went with me to the Philippines in 2015, she also taught our congregation the sign language of spirit and life that we were demonstrating today. And she's helping today because I want to show something in particular connected with another part of the world. In November, I was in Kenya, visiting our UU communities and projects there. When in Nairobi, thanks to the introduction of a Claremont couple, now at Pilgrim Place, who have worked there for some years, I visited Kibera, one of the largest urban slums in the world, population 700,000. The young women's staff of CK Africa, this amazing nonprofit, who showed me various women's and educational opportunities, also gifted me with this shirt. On the other side, the motto applies to Calapayan as well. Talent is universal. Opportunity is not. Talent is universal. Opportunity is not. In Monte Vista's relationship with Calapayan, we are providing opportunities to support all the talent amongst our partner children. We care about them because of our relationship, which, as Reverend Maggie reminds us so well, so often, is a relationship that grows from the heart and thrives in the heart and the actions of the heart. Speaking of actions, I mentioned sponsorships earlier. 6 years ago, we launched the program whereby individual members of or families of our congregation commit to sponsoring a child annually through high school. 15 matches have been made and carried out with $120 contributed for each elementary student or $150 for each high school student. The sponsors are reminded each year or remember themselves. I was delighted to hear yesterday after the memorial service that one check had already been put in the collection last Sunday, and another individual came up to me to say, "It's January, I know it's Calapayan time." The number of sponsors doesn't quite cover all of the children, and you are invited to consider becoming a sponsor. Currently, there are close to 30 children of school age. Besides the sponsorships, the rest of the contributions, your contributions, are divided amongst the others so that all the children are supported with educational funds. The last several years, we've been able to send approximately $3,000 each year. Our goal, again, this year. To inspire the action of your hearts, to lubricate your heartstrings, as it were, here's a brief slideshow of Calapayan children and their school activities last year. Jaryus is just going to scroll through. It's just a collection of pictures of the children sent by Michelle Hino, who's our partnership coordinator and contact. She maintains a Facebook message group that has these on them that Reverend Maggie and I are on, and others are welcome to join. Go ahead. Here are the children. Taking them through to graduation, and I ended with Milben Uralan's picture because he was sponsored by David Adams and Janie Monk for some years. So we know that particular connection with Milben. So I also want to share an email that Michelle sent. Maggie and I received it 4:11 a.m. Hi, Reverend Maggie and Julie. First, I greet you. I hope you are in good health with your respective families. I made a report about the results of our students. From the first quarter and second quarter, their results are very good because they got almost high, which is the card's grade, and we can see it in their posts in our group chat on Messenger. She also posts pictures of photos of the grade reports. And some also got certificate award, which you saw. In the second part report, we can see the students who have motivation in their schooling. In the second grading, 90% were brought to the high honors, were brought with high honors to high school and elementary students. It is based on their cards that we can see activities that they entered in the school. Final report of our students in the Calapayan congregation. They are active every Sunday in worship, which Reverend Maggie and I witnessed 2 years ago when we were there. A good news for you that the students will be in charge of the worship service first Sunday and last Sunday of the month. This is, I think, is a new development. Based on what we have seen in our students who have scholarships from you, I have experienced their loyalty to our church, and the parents are also active and participate in the activities of our church here in Calapayan. Best regards, Michelle. So again, a reminder that talent is universal. Opportunity is not. These are the talents. You are the opportunity. Also an opportunity to practice the UU value of generosity. please open your heart. In the thank you word of their language, Salamat.
Salamat, Julie. And I am happy to talk to any of you about some of my experiences when I was there, visiting our partnership. As we now listen to the beautiful offertory that Lily will offer to us, I invite those of you here in the sanctuary, those online, to make your donations online or to mail them here to the office. And also those who will watch the recording of this service, that if you would please support our Kalapayan partnership through your offerings sent in to the office. But I now invite those of you in the sanctuary to please come forward with your generous offerings. Thank you so much. Unending streams of awe. Thank you, Lily. We in this congregation like to share the things that are happening in our lives and things that are happening in the lives of our congregation as well, and in the world. Close by world and vast world. We also have a basket in the back that's joys and concerns. And for those of you who are used to the way I speak every week, please don't grow weary of it. I direct it toward people that are new to the congregation so they feel they belong here. So even though it seems like we know all this, why does she tell us that every week? That's why. We have two beloved people with us today. One, can I embarrass you, Lynn? One is Lynn too late. One is Lynn Sexton, who lives nearby and has been a member of Troop Church in Pasadena for a very, very long time, but might be coming this way instead of going to Pasadena. We'll see. But we're so happy that you're here. And I have talked to Reverend Tara about your possible transfer. So lots of love there. And also we have Stephen. And he's from Tennessee, the very northeast corner of Tennessee. And he is here in the high desert working until April. So we'll help you feel at home and put you to work here if you want.
8 o'clock is too early.
Yeah. That's okay. It's not 8 o'clock Eastern. It's 8 o'clock Pacific. It's okay. And also, Jaryus, I don't know if the camera can, let me hold this up, and Jaryus can do the way he can work it. I just want the folks on Zoom to see this. But usually during the offertory, I run back to the basket and pull out the prayer requests that are in there. Some are joys, some are concerns. This was the only one in there, and it changed my whole day. It's Anjali, isn't it? It's Anjali. She signed her name, and she drew this little person, which is probably a selfie, and there's a heart there, and I'm going to hang on to this one for a while. I'll pass it around the choir. Mom, you can wear this as a badge of honor. It's so beautiful. So thank you, Anjali, if you watch the recording. We love you. Some of the biggest spaces in our hearts right now are filled with the loss of our beloved Steve Shirley, the life that we celebrated yesterday. These beautiful arrangements are here, left from the family for us to enjoy today. We have the memory table still set up from yesterday. Please take time to look at it. Steve was such an amazing human being. And there were so many things about him that he would never talk about. He would never even begin to appear that he was bragging. So learn about Steve a little bit. It's incredible. Also, I invite you to spend time outside where we interred his ashes. We built a beautiful little memorial garden there for him. And you'll see that the roses laying there were from those who were at the funeral. So we're just going to leave that set for a while. Put your finger in, if you have the teal hymnal and you're waiting to sing along. Oh, sorry, the gray hymnal. No, it's the gray one. Number 212. It's We Are Dancing Sarah's Circle. That will be coming after a period of prayer, and that will end with some shared silence, and then Lily will pull us out of the shared silence by starting the song. And we're going to sing it very slowly and prayerfully, but it's for your hearts as well. But please join me. Sit comfortably in your chair, maybe shift your bottom a little bit just to shake up the energy. Put your feet maybe flat on the floor so you can feel your connection to Mother Earth that you might feel is angry with us, but that might not be the case. We open our hearts, we open our treasure chest of woe. That is our bodies right now. We have been through quite a time. And I don't just mean since Tuesday night. And we come before you, Spirit of Life. We cry out to you, ancestors. We pull on your garments to get your attention, to please send us the courage that we need to stay brave, the grounding that we need to offer love and help to those who might hate us, the capacity that we need to be able to tolerate things that we really do need. We hear those that say, all you need is what's in your soul, and those are just things. But no, those are our things. Those are our memories. Those are our lives. And they've turned to ash. And if that's not our individual case, we can feel what that loss might be. And it's okay to not be okay. When we greet each other, hi, how are you? We say, I'm okay, still standing. I don't say I'm okay because I'm not. I don't want to say, at least I'm safe. I won't say at least anything, because it minimizes the grief and the experience that we're all having as individuals, and then the communal grief and loss that just keeps piling one on top of the other before we have a chance to grieve it and heal it. There's more. But we can do it together. We can do it together as a community, as people that love each other and love the world, and for people that are brave. Even if we have to nudge each other and remind each other that we're brave. We are. And we can do this, and we will do this. So thank you for the ways that you are here. And may we always take turns offering love and care and compassion and warm blankets and warm kitties and power. Power and internet and all of the things and the ways that connect us. May they come to us not so we can feel normal again, because there's no such thing. But instead, may we be awed by strength and courage that we never knew we had. As we take turns being strong and turns breaking apart. May it be so. Let's be quiet together. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. Sisters, brothers, all. Here we seek and find our histories. Here we seek and find our history. Here we seek and find our history. Sisters, brothers, all. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. Sisters, brothers, all. Every round of generation, every round of generation, every round of generation, sisters, brothers, all. On and on the circles moving, on and on the circles moving, on and on the circles moving, sisters, brothers, all. Beautiful. Thank you. Our reading today comes from Facebook. I am an awed and beloved follower of Jeff Foster. Maybe some of you have read his work. He wrote this poem. He lives in London, but has spent many days of his life here in LA. And he wrote this poem, and I want to share it with you as our reading. We stand on sacred ground today, perhaps even more sacred than yesterday's ground, but surely no, not for us. Our city, our home, our segment of the beloved Mother Earth, she has outgrown her old form. She did. She couldn't be contained by it. She is now bigger than she was. See her now, ascended in fire. Let your heart break, but let her go. Even though you can't let her go, because she was ready. Perhaps she wanted God more than she wanted herself. Our Lady, our city, returned to sky, returned to ground, returned to herself. But wait, look under your feet. There she is. Look into your heart. There she is. Look into your memory. There she is. Look everywhere except where she once stood. Because impermanence is the law, rendering everything sacred even before its sanctification? It hurts, I know, but it hurts even more if we stop hurting and stop caring. Our city, our friend, all the prayers you held, the hopes and dreams of untold thousands of mothers, lovers, fathers, and children, all of the secrets, the tears, the sorrow delivered today into fire. Some say they are just buildings, just things, but aren't we all? Destruction, death, rebirth, water and flame, loss and reconstruction, hope and despair. And this poor human heart trying to make sense of it all. We stand on sacred ground today, perhaps even more sacred than yesterday's ground. We don't know. I forgot something during Joys and Sorrows. Jaryus, could you put up that Instagram video that I sent you? There it is. Take a few minutes and listen to this. These people are from, forgive me, I can't, former Methodists here? Anyone know the Methodist church in Pacific Palisades burned to the ground? And these people are standing on the property that used to be their sanctuary, and they're singing. And it is so beautiful. So let this be both a joy and a sorrow for you. Thank you, Jaryus. You would play it now.
La la la, Regina Caeli, laetare alleluia, laetare alleluia, via veneruis immortale, alleluia, alleluia. Resurrexit sicut dixit. Alleluia, alleluia. Ora Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
I'd like to think, and I did think when I saw that the first time, I said, that would be us. May it never be. But we send them our love, and all the chi we've got goes toward them. Yeah. With the best of intentions, our worship theme for this week was taken right out of our covenant that we read to one another each Sunday as a doorway into our deeper dive into the new ancient UU values. But it never fails. Each time I sense the muse holding me back from writing what I had been mulling over after deciding on a sermon topic. An event arrives in our lives that completely derails the message I had been planning and researching. Knowing that it will be our shared journey over the next few weeks to explore the UU values that are now defined in Article 2 of our UUA bylaws, I was digging a bit deeper into the text that describes them when the weather forecast for January 7th piqued my interest. Santa Ana winds are a common force of nature for those of us here in Southern California, those who grew up here, like Murray. Fires. We can do this. Until they act in ways that are uncommon in every way. Forecast for the potential of fire spread by 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds in the San Gabriel Mountains didn't sink in at first. Because the news often scares us with extreme predictions, and sometimes they want to capture our attention and make us change according to what's coming, and sometimes they scare us into action toward others or something that needs doing. But sometimes just to be the first to report breaking news. But by noon on Tuesday, the winds were increasing enough that I needed to hold on to a street sign to stop myself from blowing over while I was walking back to the house from my car after an appointment. Monrovia is often shielded from the Santa Ana winds by the San Gabriel Mountains behind our home. The winds that are more common in Fontana and Rialto rarely affect the area where we live. It seems to split around the mountains. Malibu gets it, Rialto gets it. We go, it's windy out today. No impact. But this event just felt different. Sophie could sense it. And she was refusing to go on our usual walk in the morning before the winds even got strong. But by 4 p.m., we still had power, but the TV news was reporting on a newly sparked fire in Pacific Palisades. The winds were much stronger there and building in intensity. And while we knew the potential for what could happen, remembering the fires near Santa Rosa just a few years ago, when the Camp Fire in Paradise, California, that started November 8th of 2018, burned 18,000 structures and took 85 lives. And here we are again, just 6 years later, and what has unfolded over the past 5 days in LA County and is still unfolding is surreal and heartbreaking. The impact on those beloved friends, neighbors, and celebrities who find themselves homeless now, left with nothing. There are only ashes and trauma and heartbreak. And let's not say, oh, they can rebuild. Let's say, wow, look at what you've been through and you lost everything, no matter who you are. The images and the stories are shocking the world and leveling so many aspects of what it means to be a Southern Californian. Whether you're a famous person in the Palisades or a registered nurse in Altadena, you are a heartbroken human. And aren't we all? New perceptions of what matters most are being born, and the old paradigms of supremacy are crumbling. Events like this redefine our sense of safety. Events like this break open our compassion. And events like this give us the opportunity to let our lives break open too. So we can let go of the paradigms that we held so tightly as we hear those who are certain that such terrible outcomes were caused by sin. That traumatic events are a result of a lifestyle that doesn't fit God's perception of what marriage is, or gender is, or what our skin color, or our clothing, or how the place we were born tells others things that they believe are true about us. These kinds of events break us down in powerful ways, but may we please let them also break us open. May they cause us to look outward rather than in, May they shift our sense of compassion towards service. And may they sweep through us and revise our values as we learn new ways of being together and what that means. And may they increase the depth and the breadth of what we valued in the past. May they change us. Because if we are not changed by these powerful events that are happening right before our eyes, what will it take? Can we be brave enough to not cling to former ways that we value so tightly that we're unwilling to see what is really needed in the broken world? Can we honor the history of our principles by standing on them to live out these values? And can we work a bit harder to learn them and accept them and find them in ourselves? They are there. They're already in us. We are already centered on love. That wasn't new when it was voted in. It was just acknowledged. The values are not something that took away the principles. But can we open to hearing them with fresh ears? And can we think of them with an exciting answer that we've been waiting to receive? Oh, yeah, okay. The way they are on the UUA website, and we have a link in our community connections to this document that I'm going to read from now. They're not in the same order as the hand gestures, so it's not transformation first. First is interdependence, and bear with me while I just read through them with their definition. There are 6. I don't mean bear with me, I'm sorry. Enjoy my reading of them and say, yeah, with every word. Say, yeah, that's in me, I know it. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all can thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritage. It's never complete and it's never perfect. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. And finally, equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Anybody have any problem with any of those? then you're in the right place. Yeah. May we live into our values, to live out our faith in our lives, and to be of service to others, to be better humans. We come together in creation of a beloved community that we live every day. And may we be a sacred space, a holding space, where we and every person who chooses to join with us are granted full permission to be who and what we are, and to discover a spirituality that is unique to our own individual soul print. A church like that is rare in our modern world, but it's who we are. And it's something worthy of our honor, our respect, and also our devotion. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being UUs. Thank you for living your values every day as beloved community. Thank you. Now let's stand and sing our sending song. It's number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Let's bless each other as we offer our unison benediction. As we close our time together and extinguish our chalice flame, may we let its light shine through us to strengthen us wherever that we cannot yet see. May our lives serve as a light in this world that we care so much about. Lily? It's my ministerial license here. We're already a little over time, so sit comfortable. Lily, would you please grace us, bless us, by playing your song, Soaring? Just, it was in the funeral yesterday. Shirley actually based her eulogy for Steve on this song because he was a pilot and he just loved flying. So I just felt like the idea just came to me. So if you would bless us with that, then we'll have coffee. I promise.